Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the Senior Tech live stream, where we talk about audio, video, technology in general, and answer any questions. So, without further ado, let's get going. Some news. Sony just announced the creation of a 247 megapixels medium format sensor. Now, the previous one in that line, because it's a series of processors, is what the Hasselblad and the Fujifilm used in their GFX 100s, which are currently 100 megapixel. So if history can predict the future, somewhere in the distant future probably, I mean, it's not going to probably happen this year, but could easily happen next year, the GFX 100 could become the GFX 250. I mean, slightly rounded up from 247, and a 256 megabyte camera, which who knows why we would need that, but we don't need 8K for sure, and we sure don't need what Blackmagic released, a 17K camera. So until people quit, they release it, somebody buys it, and enough people buys it, then there's the market. If people don't buy it, well, that will probably bring in into the continual spiral of technology. But it is what it is, and I just thought it was really interesting that now that sensor can read out 250 basic megabytes. I mean, that's an insane amount of data. I have no clue how big the file sizes will be, but they will be huge. So they're going to have to deal with that issue. And video format, I have no clue. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting, so I figured I'd say something about it. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we did the last stream, I talked about the fog machine. I have a video. There's no audio with it, so I want to go side by side with, well, I need to set up one, so back to me. I need to set up a side by side with the video, which I didn't do that ahead of time, but I'm going to need this for 2, so I might as well get it done. Now, I shot this for Instagram, so it's only filling part of the screen. So let me get it up here. And that should be up there. Cool. So again, there's no sound with this other than the machine. But it's a little sound machine, and I'll let you see it afterwards. This little demo, it's like 2 minutes long. When I first got it, I tried it out. $249 fog machine is a pretty good deal, I think. And it works as advertised, which is always good news. And it's small. It comes in a traveling pack and seems to do a pretty darn good job. So there you go. It kind of lingers around. I mean, it is what it is, and I think it's pretty neat. So we'll go the overhead shot, and I'll show it to you. So that's it. So you see how big my fingers are. On the top is where you connect the hose. Inside this compartment here, which just snaps off, is where you put the liquid. It's got a battery inside this compartment right here. Oops. And it has some things you can attach here to these two things that allow you to attach it to a pole or a stand of some sort. It comes with 2 attachments and charges by USB to the battery, which is kind of cool. Good. USB-C. And that's it. Pretty simple. Nothing fancy, but it works as advertised. So the second thing we want to talk about was the other thing we talked about, which was this is the DJI Mic 2, which no big thing there. But what is this little doodad here? Now, DJI is currently selling this for, I just dropped it. Whoop, comes out the other side. Here we go. And what it does is this is the multi-shoe interface that fits into certain Sony cameras. Not every Sony camera has this multi-shoe, but all the high-end ones have it. The A7S III, the A7 IV, the Rs, the A1, the FX3, FX30, but even the ZV E10 and E1 even have it. And it allows you, and I just keep those covers on it, because if you mess up those little pins, then you gotta buy another one. Worse yet, you mess it up on your camera and you gotta send it back. But this opens up 90 degrees like that, and it has, as you can see, the sensor ports in there. Not a very good. Yeah, there they go. That lines up with the ports on the back of the DJI Mic 2. So that just simply slides in, and this would slide into the camera this way. So this is the front of the camera. And this slides in like that. And or did I get it on there backwards? I think I got it on there backwards. Let's see. That's sliding into the camera. That plugs in. No, it plugs in the camera this way, so that's right. I had it right the first time. So slides in, ching, ching, like that. And now you have a digital interface into your camera. Now, some people wonder, well, what's so big about that? Well, what's so big about it is this. If I bring up a drawing I made in freeform, I'll explain it to you. So let me click to that button. That work? Yes. So let me grab my pencil here. Does that work on the screen? No, you can't see it on the screen. Shut this down. So I have the wrong. Why you should, if you're serious about this, you need a producer. I mean, you always need somebody else to push the buttons. When you're pushing the buttons yourself, you've got to take your mind off what you're doing. People have been doing it for a long time. Aaron Parecki being one who I watch generally every Sunday morning. He does it through Companion and makes it look really seamless. But I am not that seamless. And I created one, but I created the wrong camera, which is interesting. So that's the one I created, but it's this camera and not this camera. Okay, that's my main camera that I talk into, and it's fine for talking, but my iPad's way over here, and I can't see what I'm doing and talk to that, so I need to change it. Now, as you know, I use the yellow box. I'm currently on the new version 2.0.1 software, and I just noticed a bug. The camera, the iPhone doesn't work anymore. It's worked through the, gotta reach way down there. This cable, where is it? There. This cable connects to the iPhone and then it sends it through HDMI into the switcher. So it should work just fine. And it's worked fine all the time previously, but now it doesn't work. And that is my frustration with YOLO Live programming. They fix 5 problems and they break 2. They fix those 2 and they break another one. This happens so far in every update I've had with them. I mean, they're batting 0. So you got to be really careful about updates. And my live stream doesn't reach a ton of people, and so I can take more risk. But if you're doing this for a customer, suddenly you can't use something that's worked before. It's a huge problem. But anyway, so there are things I like about it, and one is how easy it is to make a side-by-side. I mean, it is so fast, so easy. I can do it pretty easy. Whoops, voila, I have side by side now, and I'm using this camera with the screen. Now, you can adjust this. If you go in, it's ideal. You can adjust the scaling so that it goes down. Hit done, switched it over. So now it's got me much smaller. It's got this. Why is this little doodad, which I'm showing here again, why is this little doodad so cool to have? I will explain it. On top of the fact that you don't have to worry about losing a cable, these little inputs, these 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter cables that plug into these jacks, are not very good. Okay, there's not much distance between the ports, and they're notoriously noisy. That's what's on cameras. Also, this is a digital system. Okay, it runs, digital from the mic, converts it to digital, sends that digital transmission to the receiver. Now, to go out that cable, it's got to convert it back to analog, send it over to the camera, and then the camera's got to convert it back to digital, right? Well, if you go to this drawing, you see it, mic, analog/digital conversion through a cable to the camera, where it's got to analog and digitally convert it back to digital for the camera to record. This little doodad, which is the bottom diagram, shows the mic with lots of lines because there's a lot of ports on that. It's a digital line to the DJI device, straight to the camera. One just digital pass through, no conversion, no cable noise, no chance of unplugging it. Really, this thing fits quite snugly in the. There's so much less problems with the chances of a problem going wrong, and the audio should be slightly better. Now, yes, this is a consumer grade product. I mean, they call it a pro system, but it's not, okay? Not for my world. My world, a pro system is something like a Shure Accent system that's like $5,000 a channel. This is $349 for 2 channels. So that's plus the adapter, which is less than 20, is like $35. So round up 400, divide by 2, because it's 2 channels, $200 a channel. $200 a channel is not going to compete with $5,000 a channel. The mics I use on my Shure system cost more than its host system. The mic of choice is the Shure TL48, and that is a whopping $549 just for the lav mic. Okay. Is it infinitely better than, hugely mega better than these? Surprisingly not. It's definitely better. It has more range, has less chance of something going wrong because it's using better frequencies. But all that being said, I think these are great for a lot of things, and I have no trouble recommending them. I was on the fence and hadn't bought anything. I have the DJI Mic 1. I've loaned it off to my son-in-law because he's got the production company, and he needed it for a gig, and wasn't going to get another one. And he was talking about getting one, and I said, wait, because we have all Sony. We have a Fuji, but we have mainly Sony cameras. We have an FX3 and FX30 and A7 IV. And all those have the shoe interface that we need. So the issue with the lav mics is a problem because you can't get a really good lav to work with the DJI mics, but you get a decent mic to work with it. But most people just clip the receiver on, and it is what it is. But is it what I recommended? And for a professional gig, absolutely not. But for a lot of other projects, even including commercial projects, it's quite good enough. The issue is placement. The DJI mics, when you clip them on, they're hanging out, and that shows really bad. But the sound isn't that good. It's like they need to be out away from the body a couple inches. And I haven't, I mean, there's no mounting system I've seen to do that. It would also look pretty ugly. But give them a handheld thing. Scooching over here to get one. Grab the little fake Amazon or Rode handle, stick the mic on here, and let them talk like this. And it sounds really good. So I was on the border between the Rode Pro, the Rode 2, and the DJI 2. What made me go with the DJI 2 was the interface. Okay, that to me made all the difference in the world. That was just for me. May not be the best solution for you, but it is for me. So I don't need that cable anymore. That's going to be talking. I'll be posting on the forums for the guys at Yellow Box to fix a problem that didn't exist. I mean, don't you just love it when a company has a thing that works and then breaks it for no apparent reason? I don't. So it is what it is. I didn't buy the full DJI kit, which I'm kind of glad I didn't. I got the single mic with the receiver, and then I bought the case separately because I had one of the mics that came with the Baka 3. Okay, and so now I keep everything in this little bag, which is small enough to carry everything I need, and then the rest fits in the case, which is boop boop. Charges it, you know the routine. Works like a champ. And the new case is, on top of being magnetic, it's also got a clip on it, which is good. So, anyway, that's the mic 2. And that's about the extent of the things I needed to talk about today. And I don't think there's any questions showing up on my screen here. And we've only been at this for 20 minutes. So without questions, I have nothing to answer. There's one or two other things I could talk about. Ethics being the top one. There's been several big name creators say that Insta360 has asked them to not mention that they're sponsored videos. Now, Insta360 is a Chinese company. And one of my problems when dealing with Chinese companies always is they could care less about the truth most of the time. All they care about is making money and selling their product. Not all of them, but most of them. You've got to just watch them like a hawk. And so what they've asked these creators to do is, make your video, just don't mention it's sponsored, which is illegal in some places. It's unethical in all places, as far as I'm concerned. And a couple of big creators have said we're going to quit dealing with Insta360, some of which have been, longtime partners of them. Now, I like the new camera. I'm not going to get rid of it. I have it. Probably won't be buying too many more unless they change their. And I expect they'll change their tune because they at least can read all the comments, and these big creators are just blasting them. And this isn't like a celebrity. Negative publicity is not something you want. Not like this. And so that's really sad. I mean, if I had whatever the millions laying around, I wouldn't buy Insta360. It's kind of a niche camera. I would buy YOLO Live in a minute. Bring them to the U.S., fix their programming issues, and quit wasting time on products past a certain date. People today, young people, are wrong in assuming a piece of technology can last like it used to. Okay? They just can't. I mean, one of the big complaints over it with Yellow Box in the user group is, you haven't released the software update for the Pro, though they're working on one. There was this announcement for a beta test, and the real reason is the processor can't handle it anymore. Okay, they put the processor that was available at the time in the box, and had to design it, build it, and they've maxed it out. That's the exact same thing happened with Rodecaster, with the original Rodecaster. They expanded that thing a lot, but they just ran out of processor power, and so that's when they came up with the Rodecaster 2, which is much more expandable and much more powerful. That's just the nature of the beast. It's like anything else. It's like PCs. You buy a PC and then suddenly 3 years later it's dragging because the new software requires the newer processors. And that's just the way it is. Yellow Box Ultra is currently, it can handle anything I can throw in it when it works. I mean, it's not working with the phone right now for some reason, which I still don't understand. But I've had 4 cameras working on the thing, plus the webcam, plus it's converting the audio from the Rodecaster digital, in. So pretty much every port's full except for one USB-C port, which I've got. I mean, I could plug something in there. There's a control surface I have to control it from a bigger screen. But one of my problems about being a full-time creator, which I'm not, I'm retired, I'm just doing this because I enjoy doing it, is I don't have a space. I mean, Tom Buck, I follow his channel, and we've become somewhat of friends. We communicate on a regular basis. He's a full-time creator, and he's got a setup. He's got a new setup that's better than the old setup. That's his job. Okay, he's not retired. He's still young. He still has to, make car payments and house payments and those kind of things. I don't. I'm debt-free totally. And so he has a great work. I have this console desk, which I love, but it has such limited space for doing anything else. And my office doesn't have the space. And I'm not going to build the space. There's no profit in this for me. Everything is a losing proposition. That's why I decided not to buy another camera. These are all the stuff I own. The only thing I didn't have was Yellow Box, and it was given to me as a birthday present, Christmas present for my son. And because he asked me what I wanted, because he wanted to give me something, but every stuff he would pick out I wouldn't use. So I said, okay, when I think of something, I'll let you know. And I let him know, and great, and he bought it for me. And I appreciate that because I'm actually using it. But the only thing I bought, which was purely for fun, was the fog machine and the little $35 connection to the DJI mic, and then the parts. So I used to spend thousands of dollars a month on equipment because I had a business. Now that my son-in-law has that business, I'm not spending that much money. Don't need stuff. I just need... I was telling somebody, if I went to a convention today, I travel so light. I mean, I'm not taking big old heavy cameras. I'm taking the Pocket 3, the DJI Mic 2, the Insta360 X4, right? And that's it. That's everything fits in a little side pouch, and that's all I need. Yeah, I'm hugely impressed with the DJI Pocket 3. The quality is a lot better than I had expected. It's capable. It does everything I want and more. I mean, I'm using it most of the time in 1080 and it does 4K. If you're using 4K, put it on a pole because it gets pretty darn warm. But it hasn't overheated. It just gets really warm. So that's my tech. Now I have all the big cameras, and I have these huge lights that, of course, I'm not using. My only real professional, semi-professional light is this aperture light. It's my key light, and it's the 60X, and it's $250, I think. And it's on a mini light stand that's not very strong at all, but this light's so light, it's not a problem. The rest are little bitty little bitty lights. They're nothing fancy. Do all the lights I need. A little light back there for color. So you don't need a lot. I mean, I as I said, I'm totally impressed with this Pocket 3. Besides the creator, it'd be nice to probably have a regular camera, but if you're starting out small, somebody made the deal, people doing, and I get it. If what you have is an iPhone, preferably one of the newer ones that has some power to it, and, multiple lenses choices on the back, I get doing, that's what you have, so use it. But recording high quality video on an iPhone is a lot of extra work. You're much better off getting a standalone device as soon as you can. The ZV-E1, I still think is a great creator camera. The Pocket 3's better, probably, all around for what it can do. They have some pluses and minuses. You need a mic system, but you can get a good, decent mic system for now $250, which may be a lot of money to some people, but you can save up, and get one of those pretty quickly. The issue is, how do you make money at this stuff? Only the big guys make money at content creators. The people that have small channels aren't making any money. I mean, you got to get to a certain point before you can even attempt to make money, and then go from there. And I get it. It's an American success story. I'm not a big fan of Marcus Brownlee, but he started out as a kid doing stuff, and he's built it into a massive channel. And there's Tom Buck was working full-time as a teacher and did this channel on the side, and then it finally got big enough that he could leave his teaching job. Now, I'm sad about that a little bit, because kids need good teachers, and I think that his videos, when he reviews products, they're okay, but there's 15 others just as good. What he's best at is teaching, and he generally doesn't do enough of that. He spends too much time reviewing products. But it's his channel. He can do what he wants. I tell him what I think, and sometimes he listens and sometimes he doesn't. But certain people, Aaron Parecki is much smarter than me. No argument. He's got, he's got at least 4, 5, 6 different streaming setups. His main, of course, is Constellation, which is above the ATEM that streams. It's the 40 port system. He's got a ton of money into all that stuff, and he knows how to answer a lot of questions. He helped me with the YOLO box. He's helped a lot of people. As I said, he's smarter than me. Occasionally, it's, the great thing about tech is the teamwork. You don't have the answer, you can ask a live stream and somebody will have the answer. So anyway, it's Mother's Day, and though my mom's been gone for many years, I still have a wife, and so I want to go do some stuff with the family, and I hope you have a good week. Again, on the outro, there's a email address and a phone number. If you have a tech problem, call. If I'm here, I'll answer it. If I'm not here, I'll get back to you. Have a wonderful day.